Hey, what's up, turtles? Krik here with Blackout Outdoors, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Sawyer Mini water filter. Some of the specs on this filter are MSRP is $24.95 US, but you can find it around $20 depending where you look. And it features the same sort of technology as the original Sawyer, and it says right there, there's some text on it actually. So filters 0.1 micron of protozoa. It filters 99.9999% of that and removes 99.99999% of bacteria. It does not remove viruses, and it weighs about 2 ounces. This Mini will filter up to 100,000 gallons, and that's about 378,000 liters. Here's everything that comes included with the filter. Here's the filter I just showed. You do have a backflush / cleaning syringe, which was again included in the original, and I'll show you that towards the end, how this works. You have a drinking tube, which you can attach here and sort of drink out of contaminated water source, and you have one 16-ounce sort of collapsible bottle bag. This is all included. And just for a size comparison, here is the original in my right hand, and here's the Mini in my left. And this by no means is a large water filtering system, but look how much smaller that is. So I'm looking for a spot in the stream that's basically just deep enough for me to get the bottle, that plastic bag bottle, almost completely submerged. And here looks like a decent one. Yeah, I think it'll work fine just right here. So I found the spot I want to get water from, and we're in the mountains right now. This water is completely spring-fed, meaning it's groundwater coming to the surface. This water never really gets too much direct sunlight in the hottest parts of the year, so it's really clear, it's really fresh. It stays cold year-round, and there's really not a lot of particulates in it. So I don't have to be super diligent about keeping, trying to filter just initially larger things out of the water. But my order of events involve taking off the cap of sort of the, out of the filter where the clean water is going to come from. I'm going to take this off first while my hands are relatively clean and not have any contaminated water on them. I'll lay that down, and then I'll unscrew my water bottle. Keep that lid off. Make sure that's relatively sturdy. Get that somewhere, so when I start filtering the water into it, it's not going to tip over. Next, I can grab the bag, take the cap off, put that someplace where I'm not going to lose it, and put it in my pocket for now. And then you can just put your mouth right on this and blow. But usually, obviously, this is only a 16-ounce bag, and I got a liter water bottle down there. I'm going to have to fill this up multiple times. So I can put my mouth on it now because it's dry, there's no contaminated water, or you can sort of cup your hand as it's clean and sort of make like a little buffer, if you will, and open it up that way. That way, sort of being diligent with not trying to get contaminated water in my mouth. Alright, I got water in my bag now. Back down to the ground. I'm going to screw this on. There are threads, and it's really intuitive. If you've never used this or have never seen in itself, you can see there's a big arrow right here. It says flow. Unfiltered this way, filtered that way. Pretty self-explanatory, right? I think so. Now before I try to go right over my water bottle, which has clean water in it right now, I'm going to tilt this upside down just to make sure that this connection between the filter and the bottle, that there's going to be no dirty water coming out of that. And I'm going to give a little squeeze just to make sure, again, that's a tight seal, because the last thing I want to do is just hover this over my water bottle first and squeeze and then accidentally get contaminated water all over my bottle. I got a good seal right now. So what I want to do is sort of still just hold it at an angle. I don't want to go right over it. I want to stay back here in case something does fail. It won't happen right over top of my bottle. And then once I start squeezing, filtered water comes out. crazy looking. Tickles. Alright. So all the water is out of this bag now, and I'll just keep repeating this process to fill this bottle, or if I have multiple bottles, or if I have a hydration bladder, I could fill it like that as well. What's actually really cool about these Sawyers, and the Mini specifically, is that you can use it in line with a hydration bladder in the drinking tube. You can buy little attachments for this, and you can actually cut the tube and put this as an inline filter, which is really cool. And this is made in the US. I don't remember if I mentioned that at first, but some maintenance for this filter is you want to back flush it to get the particulates out, to make sure you get maintain a decent flow rate. So to do that, it's the same exact way as the original, is that you take a syringe full, I believe they recommend doing this a couple times, but you take filtered clean water, now I have this full, so I'm back flushing it, so I want to make sure I'm going opposite of the way I would if I'm filtering contaminated water. Do that a couple times. Pretty self-explanatory, right? I think so. Now you see though, there's water still coming out of this end. There's a few things you can do. You can sit here and play with it and try to get it out, but there's also a little attachment I made, a little DIY attachment, which is basically just acts as an end cap, which is the top of a 2 liter, because this is standard, I think 28 mil thread. It's just the top of a 2 liter bottle, and I cut off and then took the cap and epoxy the bottom of it, so that way I can thread this on while it's in its bag, and none of this contaminated water is going to leak anywhere, so I'm not going to get my bag wet or anything like that. And that's how I store it. See the water still coming out? That's okay. Put this in, no love lost. And that's basically all there is to it. Nothing is better than fresh spring mountain water. The only thing I really changed up on this is the bag that comes with it, right? And it's 16 ounces. Meaning I'm going to have to fill it up multiple times, obviously, to fill, a couple water bottles. So what I did is bought an aftermarket bag that was a liter. It was a Platypus was the company, and that's been working pretty well for me. I never had an issue with these Sawyer bags. Some people said they've had leaks with them. I never have, and I upgraded this to a Platypus just for size. But something to think about. But if you have any experience with these Sawyer Minis or Sawyers in general, or have any other little tricks for using them, keeping things clean, cross-contamination is a big thing, so if any little tricks of that, of how to store the straw, let me know. Leave a comment. Be really interested to hear that. This is Krik signing out with Black Outdoors. Later, turtles.